honestly speaking, the day that I stopped caring was the day that I finally became happy. Hi guys, welcome back. All right. Oh man. Okay, so I have been thinking, I've been looking back on life for a little while now, and honestly speaking, right now at this present time in my life, I am probably the happiest that I have been in ever. In forever, honestly speaking. Like, I'm so happy internally, not just externally. I'm so happy internally with everything that, like, I'm full. My heart is full. That's all I can say. My heart is absolutely full. For the longest time, I was kind of lost. You know, when you're younger and you go through this phase where you're kind of like trying to figure out yourself. I think it kind of starts in like secondary school, where you're trying to work out where you fit in, where your friends are, what you like, what you don't like, that kind of thing. You know, that whole process is not an easy one for anybody, and I think something that we all have to realize is that we all go through it. There's no person out there that has just woken up and thought, yep, this is me, I'm just gonna live my life this way and is 100% happy. It doesn't happen like that. You know, for the longest time, guys, I wouldn't say I was unhappy. I was just really unsure of myself. I really didn't know who I was. I didn't really know what I was about. I was following like a lot of trends, things that my friends would do. I think, okay, yeah, I have to do that because they're liked. So in order for me to be liked, I have to do what they do. And it took me the longest time. It took me the longest time to actually realize that, do you know what, I actually don't really care what anybody else thinks. And the moment that I realized that was the moment that happiness just took hold of my life. It really did. Like, I'm not like anyone else. I am me. I am different. I am quirky. Like, I can't pretend to be something that I'm not. And I think if you try and pretend to be something you're not, it's always going to be your downfall. It's always going to be that thing that holds you back. You know, the way, I don't know. Okay, I'm using YouTube as an example because this is what I do YouTube. The way that some people do their YouTube videos, I can't do my YouTube videos because that is not me. And if I was to try and do it, I would literally just be copying people and it wouldn't be me. I feel like a successful YouTube channel is one where the person is wholly genuine, because that comes across when someone's genuine about something. It comes across on camera. You know, there's some things you can't hide, and so if I was always being very fake, you would notice. You know, you'd be able to see that, oh, this girl, she's not quite, you know, it's kind of out there. So we kind of copy other people because we feel like that's how you're supposed to do it. But let me tell you something, that person that you're looking at also doesn't have a clue what they're doing. They really don't. They really don't. They're trying to figure their lives out. They're trying to figure themselves out. They don't have it all together. And a lot of the time, you know, we perceive people to have things all together and they really don't. And it's taken me the longest time to figure that out. I am me and I'm happy being me. I don't actually want to be anyone else. I think the sooner you can accept that who you are is who you are, you're not hurting anyone, then hey, you are who you are. If you're quirky, you're quirky. If you want to say that you're an introvert, you're an introvert. If you're an extrovert, you're an extrovert. You know, you don't have to be an extrovert in order to make people happy. That is just not really a thing. Like, happiness comes from so many different places, and there's no one dictionary definition of what happiness is. You can have internal happiness, there's momentary happiness, there are all different types of happiness. And I feel like if you can focus on your internal happiness, then hey, you know, there is nothing wrong with being different. We're all born different in different ways. We all have different personalities. You know, no two people can be exactly the same. Even twins are not exactly the same. They have differences among them. And so sometimes I feel like trying to be like somebody else is actually a dishonor to yourself, because you're not being the person that you're supposed to be, and therefore you're being fake. Without even realizing it, you're being fake. You owe it to yourself to be happy. Life is too short. And the sooner that you accept that, the better it is going to be. The older that I've got, I've come to realize that, you know what? I'm very comfortable in jeans and trainers, and that is how I am. That's what makes me happy, you know. Waking up in the morning and putting in a dress with 4-inch heels, it does not make me happy, because that's not how I am, you know. I can't go walking down the street and be click-clocking. It doesn't work for me, but there's nothing wrong with that. It just doesn't work for me because that's not who I am. That doesn't bring me internal happiness. I'd feel so uncomfortable. But you know, in my jeans, in my trainers, or whatever, that's how I feel happy, and that's what I'm gonna do. So if someone's going to criticize me for the fact that, you know, oh, don't you ever wear heels, or you're always wearing jeans, I really don't actually care what you think, because this makes me happy. I'm not here to make you happy. I'm here to make myself happy. I'm here because of my own internal happiness, and therefore I'm not going to change who I am to make you happy. And I feel like a lot of us actually disregard our own happiness in order to make somebody else happy, and that's really, really wrong. So you see, like, I like to do the weirdest things sometimes. So I like to, like, when I'm walking down the street, maybe I might break out into dance. I mean, not overly breathe, do you know what I mean? Now, I'm not talking about all of a sudden I'll start there in the middle of the street. I'm not talking about that. But, you know, I just like, if I'm happy, I'll be there and I'll be like, you can see that I'm bubbly, you know? Or I might be walking down the road and I might be singing out loud, you know? Like, for me, it doesn't bother me, but some people can't take that. But it is part of who I am. I'm just quirky, like, in that way, and I'm comfortable with that. I'm comfortable with me being like that. But you know, it wasn't always that way. A lot of the time I would suppress myself in order to make other people comfortable, and I feel like that is so wrong. You have to be you. You know, there will always be people in life that just don't like you, and I think that for me has been the biggest lesson I've ever had to learn. People won't like you for no particular reason. They just don't like you because they don't like you, and there's nothing that you can do about it. But if you try and live your life trying to please other people and trying to get people to like you, you're gonna live a very miserable life, basically. Because you're always going to be thinking, why doesn't this person like me? What have I done? What have I done? The sooner you don't care, the sooner you'll be happy. Honestly speaking, a lot of the times what I've realized is that when someone doesn't like you, usually the reason that they don't like you is because there's some type of jealousy or something going on that you might be even completely oblivious to, you know. I've heard some stuff from when I was younger, and I was like, what the? I didn't even see it that way. So, okay, I'm going to give you an example here. Okay, when I was in school, I was very shy, very timid, and I've always been this way. So I've always been very, very slim. And when I was in school, I did get bullied a little bit, but I used to get a lot of hurtful comments from people. So this, you're so that, you're so skinny. And little did I know, and I actually believed them, and little did I know that actually it was just pure jealousy, because I was just very naturally slim, and for other people, they would eat something and they would put on weight quite quickly, or they'd have to work towards keeping their weight, and I never had to do any of those things. And I'm just minding my own business, living my life, going about, you know, not even realizing anything, you know, trying to deal with my own insecurities, and then having someone hate on me because of the way that I look or whatever, not knowing that they're simply just jealous because they don't have what I have. And for me, I was just completely oblivious. Like, I never thought that I was pretty. I thought that I was too skinny. I went through a phase where I was deliberately trying to put on weight. I mean, I went through like so many things, and all of it basically boiled down to trying to make other people happy. Now I don't care. Like, if you call me skinny, I don't care. This is my weight, this is my natural weight, this is what works for me. I think if I was to be bigger or even smaller than I am now, it would look kind of weird. I'm quite happy with the way that my body is, you know. I don't have a backside. I don't care. This is how I am. I mean, I'd like to have a bigger one, but hey, you know, I don't have a bigger one, but you know, that doesn't mean that I'm going to be miserable about my body. You know, like, there are things that we perhaps may not like about our bodies or whatever, but you know, it shouldn't stop you from loving yourself and just being happy, just being internally happy with what you have. Because trust me, people look at you and they're like, oh, I wish I had what that person had. So why would you let somebody else hold you back who's also dealing with other insecurities? Be free, be happy, be you. Live your life to the fullest, because you've only got one life. You've got one run at this, one try, and that's your lot. That is it. Like, there's no going back. There's no going back. So why let it take you 20 years to be happy, 50 years to be happy? Why not just start today and forget what everybody else is saying? Because no matter what you do in life, someone's always going to judge you for it. Someone's always going to say, oh, that's not the right thing to do, or you shouldn't do it this way, you shouldn't do it that way. But actually, where's the rule book to say you shouldn't do something this way or that way? Just do what makes you happy, and you'll see that everything else will just fall into place, because anything you do in life stems with happiness from inside, your internal happiness. Okay, I can't say I'm gonna I want my children to be happy, but I'm not happy. How do I expect them to see that example if I don't see it for myself? How does that work? It doesn't work. It's just, it doesn't compute. It just doesn't happen that way, you know. So if you like to run down the streets or whatever you like to do, or start singing in public, or whatever it is that you like to do, I'm not saying like you have to go OTT and be extreme, you know, you might as well do it, you know. I'm very much an introvert, so, but I have times where I can also be extroverted. It depends, but I'm very shy, but I try not to let that hold me back now as much as I used to before. I'd just be quiet, and I'd just always like let someone else take the floor, because you know they're probably more popular than me. Most more people like them or whatever. But you know what, I'm just me. I'm easy. I can stand back or I can move forward. I can do whatever, you know. It really doesn't matter. So if you're letting other people hold you back, you're going to feel held back in life for the longest time, and you don't want that. So life is short, live it to the fullest, do what you want to do. If you're quirky, if you're a geek, if you're a dork, whatever you want, whatever you want to label it as, it doesn't mean that it's wrong. Just do you and be happy, because life is too short. So hey, might as well move on with it, eh? But anyway, that's the end of today's video, guys. I just wanted to encourage you a bit, because you know what? As I said, and I've said it already, I've said it about 6 times, I'm sure, life is too short, so you might as well be happy doing what you're doing, and just be happy and content within yourself, because one life, man, one life, it comes and it goes like that. But anyway, as I said, that is the end of today's video. If you haven't already subscribed, I'd love it if you were to just hit the subscribe button for me and the notification bell, and don't forget to do me a favor and like this video so more people get to see it. I'd appreciate it very much. Until next time, I am out. Naughty.